Well, hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to this training on carryover volume. Now, this is a shortened, abbreviated from the full up Saturday training we're doing on this Saturday, the 20th of August, 2022. I wanted to do this shorter version so that you could be able to go back to it again and again and again. Our company is growing exponentially. The sky's the limit. And are you maximizing your income? And when you consider what's coming down the pipeline, which for many of you maybe have already been announced by the time you're seeing this recording for the very first time, but we're just really excited. And so it's really important to understand how this carryover volume actually works and how it can lead to large amounts of income as you continue to grow your business. And everything I'm going to talk about here happens automatically. All right. So in actuality, you really don't need to know any of this information. However, if you're building a big business, it's important to understand the mechanics of what's going on behind the scenes. So you kind of can help explain to people when they ask, well, why is this so important? Auto ship. Why is being qualified so important? Why is it so important to have a qualified member down that one leg of my business? Those types of questions are all going to be answered in this training. So you don't need to know this. The most important for everyone is going to be the last couple of slides. But even if you're brand new, allow this to just kind of take this in. If you're a leader here, if you're already a C3, 4, 5 or higher, then this is really going to help answer a lot of questions for you. I had a lot of people asking me to do this training, and I finally took the time to create these slides and put this together. So I hope you really enjoy it. Now, the purpose, or is, again, is to understand, and for who it is for, is basically anyone that's looking to make large amounts of residual income. And it's just important to further drill down that importance of the auto ship. So with that being said, as we get going here, of course, as always, there's a couple important disclaimers that we need to make: that there's no income claims, there's no guarantees that anyone will make money for the use or promotion of the Sealy by Design products or opportunity, and that any figures or examples are for training purposes only and are not intended to be assurances of projected incomes. So let me get my highlighter here. There we go. Spotlight. All right, so everybody's familiar with this picture from our presentation. We are a binary, and that means you have two sales teams, one on your left side and one on your right side. Each one of these smiley faces are representing individual sales that are going on. Each individual sale that goes on either one of these teams flows up like helium all the way up to you. And then you get paid anywhere between 10 to 20% on the lesser team. We're going to break all this down for you, right? So as your team legs build, one will typically have more volume that's created in 1 week's time. The other leg will have the lesser volume. The leg with the lesser volume, the one that does lesser amount of business for that week, is what you actually get paid on for these team commissions. Remember, these team commissions is just one of the 10 different ways that our prosperity plan pays out. And so thus, depending on the structure of your team, this could be either your left leg being the lesser leg or your right leg being the lesser leg. It just depends on how your business is structured. And there's places to be able to see this other than what I'm going to show you as well. But where I'm going to show you is you can definitely see that. And so then over time, also understand, maybe the left sales team's been your lesser team and the right sales been your stronger team. But then you bring in a powerful network marketer that brings over a team of 1,000 people or something like that overnight. And all of a sudden this flips. So all of a sudden now your left team becomes the stronger and your right team becomes the pay leg. So that can happen. Just understand that. Now, where you're going to go is into your back office. And over at the far right, there's commissions. And then down here is carryover volume. And when you call up that screen, it's going to look like this. And now I know, unless you're an analytical, this is like, oh my God, close this out immediately because this is overwhelming. And that's the reason for this training. I want to help you understand how to break this down so that it makes sense, because it actually gives you a lot of information. Now, we're actually going to start in these middle two columns, right? So it says period LV, that's left volume, and period right volume. Those are your two legs in the team commissions, which includes all the spillover volume from all the sales that are going on underneath you, whether you sponsor the people in there or not. Doesn't matter. It's just all the total amounts of sales that happened that week. All right. So the period is the week. So this is where I'm just calling it the current week. This is my terminologies for the purpose of this training, all right? So like this is right now the 15th to 21st. So this is very recent, it's current. And so this would be the current week. This individual has 8,000 in volume that's gone through her left team, and then 51 maybe on his right side. Okay, so it just is what it is. That's what's happened this week. Now, these numbers down here at the bottom, don't worry about those at all. And then the other thing you don't want to worry about are these months. The months confuse things. So we're just going to go ahead and block out the months. And now this chart becomes very readable. I've had a long talk with the owner, and by the time you're seeing this video, this may all have been corrected anyhow, but for the purposes of this training, this is what you want to focus on. All right. Each of the different weeks, you can see the amount of volume that's happened on your left side and the amount of team volume on your right side. Now, these two columns, the first two columns, it says carry over left volume, carry over right volume. That means at the end of the week, Sunday night, when you begin Monday for this week, right? All these dates are the Monday that it began with. This is the carryover volume that's accumulated over the past year. It only accumulates for a year. After that, that volume goes away if you haven't been paid on it. So in this example, this individual had 95,818 or 958,000, almost $1 million in volume here. And you can see it grew the following week. All right, how did that happen? We're going to explain all that. And then this last two columns over here. So we started in the middle, went to the first two. Now we're going to the last two columns. This is the total amount of volume for that week you're getting actually paid on. All right. So that's what these two. Now, where does these numbers come from? The stored volume added to the current week is going to give you the total volume that you actually get paid on for that week. Now, how does this actually work? In the extended or this is from the website, on the opportunity on the front side of the website, they've got this for team commissions, and you can kind of read through this, but there again, it's going to tell you you get paid up to 20% on your lesser sales team BV. In other words, at C2, obviously you can't get paid as a C1 because you got to have two sponsor people, one person on the left, one person on the right. So this begins at C2 and you get paid at 10%. Goes all the way up to C12 where you get paid at 20%. Same amount of volumes being moved through, or not same amount of volume, but the mechanics of the volume being moved through is the same. You're just getting paid more money as you move up in rank. So the higher you rank you are, the more money you're making from the prosperity plan. So let's go back to that original chart and let's look at the week between the 8th and the 14th of August. And we're going to break this down for you. Now we go back to those middle two columns, the current week. And for this current week of 8 to 8/14, right? They did 11,778 BV on the left side, and they did 334 BV on the right side. Pretty straightforward. Everybody with me? Great. So now how do you use this to calculate the payout? Again, we're going to add the carryover to the current week's volume, and we get a total for the left volume, 969,963. That's the stored volume on this person's left side. Now on the right leg, we're going to add the carryover volume, which is 0. And then we're going to add in what they did this week, 334, and they end up with a right team volume of 334. That's where that comes from. Pretty straightforward. And then you use the lesser amount of volume, which is 334, is a lot less than $1 million. And in this case, it's the right volume of 334. And then we go to the chart. If you're at a C2, you're going to make $33.40, 10%. If you're at C6, for instance, you make 14% or $46.76 for the week. And then C12, you'd make $66.80. So basically you're doubling the amount of income for that week by being at a higher rank. Now let's say what if example, right? Let's say this person actually had 10,000 come through that week on their lesser team. What happens to the payouts? Look at the jump. $1,000 for that week, even at C2. C6 is 1,400, C12 is 2,000. So hopefully that kind of brings this to light. Now, what if your left side is your lesser team? That was for your right side. Now, what if it's your left side? Same thing. We're just going to swap it up a little bit. So now on the left side, you have 250 BV. On the right side, you have 1370. Same math is going to apply. We're going to add the 0 from carryover volume plus the 250 to new volume. You end up with 250 on the right, on the left side. And we do the same thing for the right side. We have, in this case, is at 144,424 carryover. We've got 1370 new volume that combines to add 145,794 on the right side. Well, it's obvious the left team is the lesser volume, right? And then 10%, if you're at the C2 level, is $25. C6 is 14%, $35. Here at C12, it's $50. You just take the percentage of whatever the lesser volume is for that week. Pretty straightforward. Same thing again here. Now, what if you're bringing that network marketer, you're sponsoring all these pro packs in a very quick time, your business is really starting to take off, whatever's happening, and you're at 10,000 for that week. We still use the lesser amount of volume. And now your numbers are going to be the same, right? Because we're still using 10,000 as the lesser amount. So hopefully that makes sense for you. So then what happens, right? Now what? Well, on Sunday night at midnight Pacific time, the volumes are paid. The volume that pays are subtracted from out of both sides, thus staying with the left side as the pay leg example, that $250 here, okay? 250 is going to come out of the left team volume. 250 is going to come out of the right team volume. That still leaves you with 145,544 in volume that has yet to be paid on. Think of it as a savings account. Again, what happens when you do find that couple of people that really start taking off with this thing, and all of a sudden your left volume really starts going crazy? You know, like maybe this left volume here for this week is 10,000, and this is still at the right volume's at 1,300, right? 1,370. Well, guess what? This is still going to be your lesser volume. So this is going to come out and this is going to reduce by 10,000, but now you still have all this volume left. What if this thing grows now to 50,000 or 100,000? Folks, can you see how important it is to manage your carryover volume? Monday starts the new week. The volume remains from the larger leg and carries over, and the pay leg goes to 0, right? Because that's what you got paid on. So 250 minus 250 is 0. So now when you start the new week, right? We were in this week, the 8th through the 14th. Now we're in the 15th to the 21st. You start out with 0 volume over here because it was subtracted out to 0. But on your carryover, you have 145,544 in stored volume. This is money in the bank that the company allows you to store. The only reason why you would lose it is if the qualifications are not met by the end of the month. And if that happens, all the volume flushes. All right. If you're not personally qualified, all the volume goes away. Both of these columns go to 0 on the first of the following month. Not a good thing, right? If you had no personally qualified person on your right side, come the first at the end of the month, come the first of the month, this number is going to reflect 0 because it flushes, it goes away. So very, very important. You got to have yourself qualified, a person on your left side, and a person on your right side personally qualified in order to earn these commissions. That was that slide that we showed you in the very beginning. And here it is again. You can read through this on your own. I encourage you to go through the extended compensation plan so you can get even a better grasp of this. If you look at the chart, and hopefully you've seen this chart, if not, that's also available under opportunity on the front side of the site. You scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see this chart. Remember, only thing that's required to be qualified is 50 BV in auto ship, right? That is 1 bottle of Swish with the free spray. If you're not on auto ship, then you need the 65, which is paying for a bottle and the spray. So why would you not be on auto ship? Auto ship keeps you qualified, promotes keeping your left and right teams qualified. and urge you to move their auto ships into the first week so you can manage your business a lot better. You don't want all these auto ships running at the end of the month, because then you're sweating buckets trying to figure out if you're going to be qualified or not, especially if you have a small team. Larger team, you can get away with it a little bit, but I would just encourage, have all customers, all members move their auto ships into the first week of the month. And that way, you know exactly where you are as you move in towards the end of the month. It's also far less expensive, right? Because you're getting the free product. Let's see, you're getting true passive income. And that's what we're all about here. We want to do the work one time, get paid on it over and over and over again. And by being on AutoShip, that's how you're securing your passive income, by having all your members and customers. It instills a business mindset, treating your business, your Sealy by Design business, as a business, right? And then also extends value to have multiple sponsored members on each leg on AutoShip. If you just have one person on your left and one person on your right, and for whatever reason that auto ship doesn't run that month and you missed it, you weren't paying attention, that volume flushes the next month. So why not have a 4, 6, 8 on each side, so that those multiple auto ships, you're always covered and you're not going to flush volume. And what does that mean? That brings peace of mind. All right. So I hope you got something out of this. You can go back, it's recording. You can go back to it over and over and over again. If you got a question, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer it for you. With that being said, I wish you all a wonderful Sealy day. Bye-bye.